This is a very deep station on Parv Avenue, probably around 25 meters deep. And this is what I like to do. I always like to get on the elevator because it's much faster than taking the freaking stairs or escalator. Second.
Concourse.
Yeah, see? Look how deep the platforms are.
Going down. Descendons.
Alright. Okay, hey, what's up guys? Alex here in my home borough of York, where I've been living pretty much all my 22 years of life. And it's nice and sunny outside, which is surprising given all the torrential rain we got this morning. And on this Tuesday, April 14th, 2026, and it's 3:26 p.m. I just came here from downtown. Literally took 30 minutes, right? Because I got on the subway at Wellesley Station. I took line 1 to Eglinton Station, and then, of course, the train here to Caledonia Station, which would have been my home station if I was still living in this neighborhood. This is the Silverthorne neighborhood, although the actual district itself is called Keelesdale-Eglinton West. I lived here for most of my childhood, even though I split time between here and Briar Hill, Belgravia, which is literally down the street from here. Just a few more LRT stops. Yeah, look at this. So it's supposed to be raining now. Instead of that, it's just nice and sunny. So yeah, welcome to my childhood neighborhood. There's the Freshco. It used to be a Price Chopper when I was growing up. Dollar Tree, Canadian Tire, CIBC. And this is a station I have watched them build ever since the start. And when I was a little kid and they were building these stations, I was always looking forward to one day hopping on this line. And as I've been saying, because I've been living in this area for 18 years. Right, so every time I was, right here on the 32 Eglinton West bus, sometimes with my friend or by myself, or even just driving through here with my dad. It just feels like yesterday, right? I was still in high school. They were building this station. And then after I graduated high school, going into university, this station finished construction. It's just no completion. Here we are, finally. And it's been 2 months since the line has opened. And this station, of course, will be a future interchange with the Barrie line of the GO train network. It's already the beginning of rush hour. So what I do today, I didn't really have a plan until I saw that Vasily was going live. But what I didn't realize is that he would be live not even far from my area. And he started his live stream at Mount Dennis Station. I was all the way at Chaplin. So as soon as I saw he was live, I knew I was going to catch him right away. So I got off at Chaplin and went back the other way to Oakwood Station so I could meet up with him. And there he was. There's Blackthorn Avenue. So what I used to do is every time I come here, actually because the 32 used to stop here, I would always take this hill down. But then after, because they've kind of changed everything here, I got off at Richardson Avenue, and then I would cross over, and then I would make the 7-minute walk to my old house. There's the Active Green and Ross. And this is a working class neighborhood. After all, it is York. Mostly comprised of single family homes. While this neighborhood is everything to me and it's nostalgic, I don't miss living here. Because when I was growing up, this neighborhood was a neighborhood improvement area. It had a lack of good transit, even though literally the only active frequent buses were at the time, the 32 and the 41 buses. But construction has really had its negative impact on this neighborhood. And especially during the winter weather, because this is a very hilly neighborhood. The drivers are always stuck because this hill's notorious. If you're walking up or just driving, it's literally like, it is such a huge challenge. And that's why I don't like living in this neighborhood during the winter. And yeah, it's the nearest subway station in here at the time was Eglinton West Station, now Cedarvale, and that would involve a 15 to 20 minute bus ride. So when I was splitting time, because my parents are divorced, every Monday to Fridays I would stay here, and then weekends, Fridays to Mondays, I would stay over at the Briar Hill Belgraven neighborhood, which is way better than here though. And because of the topography, we might get some very interesting views, right? We can't see it over there, but the CN Tower is off in the distance. And then there's the city of Mississauga skyline. We're gonna see if we can walk down to Rogers Road. So Haverson Boulevard turns into Blackthorn turns into Haverson Boulevard. We'll keep going along here. And I think this is a new playground that I didn't often go to when I was a kid. I don't know why, but it's so good that this neighborhood, my family has lived in this neighborhood for the past 40 years now. And this neighborhood's kind of changed. It really has. Also, when I was born, I used to live just north of Eglinton on a side street called Green Acres Road. Silverthorn Avenue's over there. We might actually head on that street maybe in the next few minutes. You see, now that the LRT's open, I can come back here more often and visit my family instead of taking a very slow, crowded bus. It's astonishing, right? Because what used to take an hour or even 50 minutes to get here from downtown is now cut down to 30 minutes or less. It really works. And Caledonia and Keelesdale would have been my local stations if I was still living here. But hell no, I don't see myself ever moving back to this neighborhood. I have family here, there's a lot of nostalgia, but I am really satisfied with where I live. And so after I graduated high school in 2022, that's when I made the permanent move, because I wanted to be very close to the subway. Comment down below if you live in this area. Where are all my fellow Yorkers at, though? Because, we live in one of the most underrated neighborhoods in the city. York itself doesn't get a lot of spotlight. But anyway, I did a walking video earlier today with Vasily. We got off the train at Mount Pleasant Station. And he got me some Starbucks. So thank you again, Vasily. I haven't seen him in weeks. So it was actually great to snipe him and also give him a little tour of Line 5. Because I think... Oh, hello, Mr. Squirrel. Is that squirrel taking... No, he's not taking a piss. And for the second time ever this year, wearing my summer clothes because it's literally around 23 degrees Celsius. Oh, this squirrel is going. It's going. Look at that guy. Yeah, and then we walked down Mount Pleasant, which is ironic because I had just filmed a video there 2 days ago. And then we walked through Mount Pleasant Cemetery, where I made my first walking video of the day. And then we took Yonge Street down to Yorkville into downtown. That's something I haven't done in a while. Right? Not all the time I go on these very long walks, but I just did that with Vasily because it was pretty nice out. Still is, but the rain's gonna come back. excuse me, later this evening. And then I have to get up early tomorrow because I have an exam at the university. 9 a.m. First of 3. Here's Donald Avenue. And I believe that's Dunraven Drive. We'll take Dunraven to Silverthorne Avenue. This neighborhood has a huge Portuguese and Italian population. I won't be surprised if everybody brings out their Portuguese flags, because I remember during the Euro Cup and also other previous FIFA World Cups, they brought out their Portuguese flags, and I remember them cheering. I'm hearing the crowd. I remember hearing lots of cheers around this neighborhood every time Portugal scored or won. But it's going to be very different this time because, you know, Canada, obviously, you know, Canada is a co-host country for FIFA, so their national football team is in. It's going to set the bar as well, since 6 matches will be played right here. This way is Burt Robinson Park. There's like an not underground, but there's like a tunnel that'll take you over. Whoa, shit. Whoa, shit. Okay, man. Oh my goodness. That fence wasn't there. I would have been fucking eaten alive. And of course, it's a pit bull, so. Oh boy, that nearly made me jump. And the guy just waved at me, so. So if I went back this way, I would have reached Caledonia Road. Caledonia, I'll have to make a walking video on that street soon. At least between Bridgeland and Lawrence, or even between Lawrence and Eglinton. I mean, that's another childhood stretch because, you know, my dad and I used to drive on Caledonia on the way to and from school, even Yorkdale. Because Yorkdale's not very far from here, just like a 15-minute drive. Of course, I could just take the 18 bus. Or at the time before Line 5 opened, it was just a 47. Sometimes I just walk all the way to a stop at Kitchener Avenue, and then it would take me straight up there. All right, so here is Silverthorne Avenue. And sometimes if I'm going to the west end, I would walk over to Keel Street and take the 41, or depending on the area, I could also take the 161 or the 168. All routes would take me to Line 2. Takes an average 20 or so minutes, depending on the time and traffic. It's, you know, because I sleep here sometimes as a visitor. For Line 5 open, if I was going straight to the university, I would either take the 41 to Wilson Avenue, then the 996 across to York Mill Station, and then the 995, or I would take the 41 or even the 161 to Line 2, then across to Kennedy. But faithful with Line 5 because, you know, I'm sleeping here tonight. Gotta get up at 6. I just gotta walk to Keelesdale Station. The train will get me there faster. Otherwise, I probably would have went home if this LRT still wasn't open by now. Here's Eileen Avenue. So now I'm like a 6-minute walk from Keel Street. I used to live like smack dab in the neighborhood, and it was like a average 6-7 minute walk to either street. If I was going downtown, or before Line 5 opened, because, you know, Eglinton was always very busy, full of traffic, would take the 41 to Keel Station, or the 168 to Dundas West Station, or even the 161 to Ossington Station. As I just said, those 3 options were available. if I'm coming from like the West End, of course I would, because you know, I would definitely take the subway to Keele Station and the 941 Express. Or if it was a late evening, then I would take the subway to Eglinton West Station, and then I would take the 32 across because, you know, it's the late evening, there's no traffic at that time. That's what I did when it was Canada Day, and also after a Leafs game because I was staying here, so. Okay, I want to cross here. I don't even know what street this is now. Oh, Keelesdale Road. Oh, and I should know. I've lived in this neighborhood for all my life. And Rogers Road is mostly ungentrified. I mean, this is a very low density neighborhood with very little development going up. Oh, look at this. I've never seen this before. Is that Steve Yzerman? One of the Detroit Red Wings all-time greats. It's likely he's gonna get fired because his team, because he was the general manager of the Red Wings. They were in a playoff position for half of the season, and then for some reason they just decided to crumble apart. So he's gone. He's gone. I watch a lot of hockey videos, and basketball too. So that's how I know. The Leafs continuing their tanking strategies. They blew a 3-0 lead to the Dallas Stars on their final home game of the season, which is good because they need a top 5 draft pick. And their finale is in Ottawa tomorrow. But look no further. The Raptors are in the playoffs, and they're playing the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. Chambers Avenue. When I think of that, I think of Chambers Street in Manhattan and the subway station in New York. Surprisingly, I've never been before. I'm kind of avoiding Rogers Road, but we'll get there. I might even end the video at Rogers and Keele. Keele comes to an abrupt end. And then to continue, you have to take Rogers Road to Weston, which is literally nearby, and then you have to go down. And then at St. Clair, it becomes Keele again. It's a little bit weird, but here's Kane Avenue. So this is the street I would normally, you know, when I used to walk all the way up to Eglinton when the 32 was still there. That's if I was going to school sometimes, or I would just take Donald Avenue to the stop at Keele and Donald, and I'll take the 941. So lots of memories. It's just a long walk to get to Keelesdale Station. If I said I lived around here, I would either just walk to the 41 stop to go to Keelesdale Station, or I could even take the 161 or 168 to Mount Dennis Station, which might take about 10 minutes. Yeah, I haven't walked from Eglinton to downtown in a really long time, and you know what? That gives me an idea, because I know what I'm doing for my 5,000 subscriber special. I think I might walk from my place to downtown. Right? Johnny's done that. Henry's done that. Sapan. Ken. I could be able to do that myself. Remember, I did a nearly 3-hour long walk from my place to my mom's old neighborhood in Scarborough. 2 puppies. My goodness. Oh, we got a freaking Cybertruck here. I didn't plan to be out for long. I just wanted to just go somewhere not far, which I did. I decided to make another video today as we hit up Rogers Road. Done plenty of videos along this underrated street. Actually, I don't even have to go all the way to Keel Street, because this video has been going on for 21 minutes. Scooby Groom Doggy Daycare. There's Scotty Buns, a fairly new Caribbean restaurant, and then of course the North of Brooklyn Pizzeria. There's Old Weston Road. Not even a far walk to St. Clair Avenue. I remember making a video once. Oh, now there's there's a hole out of the shoe, kind of. There's a stop I would normally wait for, the 168. There's the 41 bus. And the local pizza. And I think this is Watt Avenue. Alright, well, just a residential walk. Summer-like weather. But I'm gonna wrap it up and start heading to my destination. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more videos, and check out my others as well, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, and peace out. Bye-bye.